Good, positive YouTube, Elmas here, and I have for you guys today a really good NU battle that I had a few days ago. Well, yesterday at the time of me recording this, but this should be going up during the days that I'll be in New York. So yeah, hopefully you guys do not mind that. And if you guys missed my update video that I uploaded a few days ago, I would greatly appreciate if you guys could go check that out, then come back to this video or just watch it after this video. It's just about 7 minutes or so, and just yeah, check that out, then do whatever. Anyways, as you can see, I'm not under my normal Off the Shelf account. I'm actually on my Shawn Michaels out. That I haven't used this account since Black and White 2 NU. So yeah, it's been a while, but of course if you guys do enjoy the battle, make sure to show off your support. Hit the like button down below. It's just 1 second of your time and I would greatly appreciate it. So of course if you do enjoy it, then you know what to do. But yeah, as you can see, I have a very stolid team. I'll go ahead and say this right now. This is not my team. This is a team that I got off of the RMT section from Smogon, just because these past couple months I really haven't been playing Pokemon that much. And for a question that I actually asked, I don't know English. A question that I have for you guys is, let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite kind of playstyle? I'm actually very interested to find that out. Let me know what it is and why. Actually, yeah, really, I'm actually really interested in that. Because for those of you who don't know, for the longest time, my favorite playstyle used to be Stall. Since like 4th gen all the way up until like maybe X and Y, I was like, I love Stall. Stall is awesome. And yeah, I kind of just played Stall all the time. Up until late X and Y or S, I kind of shifted to more like hyper offensive builds of teams. I mean, I still like Stall. I still like to play it from time to time, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite anymore. I'm just kind of torn in between Stall and like offense and just I don't know, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. So looking at threats on my opponent's side of the field, easily the biggest threat I saw was going to be Magmortar, because with the proper moveset, this thing can literally 6-0 my entire team. So I really have to be careful with this. At the same time though, most Magmortars are actually assault vested from what I've seen, so I'm not as worried about it as I should be, but I can still be a potential threat, so I really have to watch out for that. Scyther, if I lose my Quagsire and my Garbodor, if it turns out to be a Swords Dance variant, pretty much sweeps my team, so I really have to make sure to keep Quagsire and Garbodor around. Actually, Kangaskhan is another huge threat because I don't safely have any switch-ins outside of my Ferroseed, which even then, if it does tend to carry Drain Punch, then it could potentially beat me one-on-one, so I really have to watch out for that. Mesprit could also be a bit of a nuisance depending on what kind of set it is, but mainly going into this battle, the biggest threats I was going to watch out for, were going to be Magmortar and Kangaskhan. So with that being said, it's been a while since I've done this, so I apologize if I mess up. So I'm going to be leading off with my Quagsire, considering that it is the best lead against his team, because look at his team. The only things that he has to hit me with are Energy Ball from Mesprit and Hidden Power Grass from Magmortar, which is why I knew Quagsire was easily the best lead that I had to go for. As he ends up leading off with the Scyther, judging from that damage, he is definitely Choice Banded, which means he's not as big of a threat as he could be, which is actually really good for me. As I catch the incoming Prinplup, he's gonna burn me with the first Scald, as I managed to burn him with my second Scald, which is really nice because now I can start getting residual damage on Prinplup. And then this turn, expect him to actually want to go for these Stealth Rocks, thinking I would want to stay in and go for the recover. I make the safe switch into my Zetsu, which is really good for me because, as you can see here, he's in a position where he can either go for the Scald, or he can choose to go for Defog, and because he misplayed and went for Rocks, he is going to choose the safer play by going for Defog, because he does have a Magmortar and a Scyther, which means I will be able to knock this Prinplup out with another Psychic, which is really great for me because his Stealth Rocker is gone and his way of getting Stealth Rocks is gone as well, which means as soon as I get up my Rocks and my Spikes, they will be here for the remainder of this battle. So as he brings in the Scyther, I'm actually going to stay in and go for the Roost, just because I didn't want to bring in Ferroseed to take any unnecessary damage. They gave him a free switch into Magmortar, and I didn't want to bring in Garbodor and give him a free switch into Mesprit. At the same time, I guess I kind of gave him a free switch in the Mesprit because I'm going to switch out here, fearing a potential Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, as he turns out to be physical with the knockoff. Just for damage, I don't know if he is Banded or Scarf, to be perfectly honest with you guys, but either way, I'm in a perfect scenario where I can just go ahead and get on my Stealth Rocks, as he ends up getting a free switch into the giant threat known as Magmortar. And I make a bit of a ballsy play here, and I say ballsy because If he did carry Earthquake, this would have been a very good chance for him to go straight for the Earthquake, considering that the best switch in on my team to his Mag Mortar is my Flareon. But because we went for the Flamethrower at full HP, I know that I can live an Earthquake, so what I'm going to do is actually go for the Toxic on the off chance that he wanted to stay in and go for the Earthquake, or if he did bring in Rhydon like he did here. Because as you can see, Rhydon is a bit of a threat to my team, especially with my Quagsire being at such low HP, because I can't safely switch it in, take an Earthquake, take another Earthquake, and then recover off the damage. I'll be easily 2 KO'd by an Earthquake at this point. So by going for the Toxic and catching the incoming Rhydon, I now have a pretty reliable way to beat it one-on-one. However though, if it turns out to be the Double Dance variant, then that's where things can kind of get tricky, because I'm going to be forced to fodder something off so I can get a free switch into my Quagsire on this Rhydon. As he ends up making a bit of an odd play and going for the Rock Polish. I'm not really too sure why he did that, because I think Max Speed Rhydon already outspeeds my entire team, as unfortunately for me, he crits my incoming Ferroseed. To be perfectly honest, that crit's not game changing. However though, I would have been able to get off an extra turn of toxic damage on him, which would have been really nice for me, but in the long run, it's fine. Not that big of a deal, because I have spikes on my Garbodor, as where my Ferroseed only has Stealth Rocks. So I'm going to be able to protect here after taking an Earthquake, and the Rhydon will get knocked out by the Toxic, which is really good for me, because that's one less heavy hitter I have to worry about. But then the next heavy hitter comes in, which is Kangaskhan, and because I lost my Ferroseed, the only real switch in that I have to this Kangaskhan is my Garbodor. As here, I make a bit of a questionable play. I guess you could kind of look at it, because I could have either gone for Gunk Shot or Drain Punch, or I could have gone for the T-Spike like I did here. Ultimately, I was thinking long term in the run of this battle, just because if he did have Earthquake on Mag Mortar, the best thing that I have to beat it one-on-one is my Audino, which my only offensive move on Audino is Knockoff. So by getting up T-Spikes, and if he did have Earthquake, my Audino would be able to beat Mag Mortar one-on-one a whole lot easier. At this point, the only way that he can get rid of hazards if he's randomly carrying Defog on a Scyther, which, to be honest, I probably wouldn't be too surprised if he was, but I just ultimately decided to go for T-Spikes as opposed to going for the Gunk Shot or Drain Punch, and unfortunately, Earthquake is going to be a 2 KO at the amount of HP that I'm at. So predicting him to go for another Earthquake, not wanting to take Rocky Helmet, Aftermath damage, and potential double edge damage, I switch into my Xatu. As it turns out that I'm faster than him, which I don't really know why. Normally Xatu are slower than Kangaskhan, but here I'm going to bait him pretty nicely, and I'm going to switch into my Garbodor, expecting him to want to go for the return or double edge as I bring him down to below 30%. Thankfully, I do still have my Cobra Berry, so this Psychic will be strong enough to knock out the Kangaskhan, and now at this point, the only threat that he has is Mag Mortar, which with T-Spikes, I know I will be able to be one-on-one with my Audino, barring the fact that he doesn't have Cross Chop, considering that most Mag Mortars don't carry Cross Chop nowadays from what I've seen. So here, I really overthought this play a whole lot more than I should have, because at the time, it didn't really click in my head that this Mesmer could potentially be choiced in some sort of way, because I was actually very close to bringing in my Flareon, taking a Zen Headbutt, hoping that he doesn't flinch me, and then potentially knocking him out with a Flare Blitz. However though, ultimately I decided, you know what, Quagsire can still probably live a Zen Headbutt, and then I can just kind of recover off the damage and then go from there. So that's kind of what my thought process was here. As he does just end up going for the safe knockoff, I'm going to be able to recover up to a really solid amount of HP, at the point where here I can just safely go for another recover on the off chance that he does want to stay in. I was very close to going for the Scald, and he knew that I wouldn't risk losing my Quagsire, so he does make an aggressive switch into his Mag Mortar. The only reason he would do this is because he has Hidden Power Grass, and again, if he did have Earthquake, this would have been a prime scenario for him to reveal it to me, but he ends up making the safe play by going for the Hidden Power Grass, as he ends up going for the Psychic. And I know it may seem odd, but I'm still thinking he has Earthquake. He's just not going for it because he wants to bait me to stay in until I get around 50%, then he knocks me out. So what I'm going to do here is go for the Wish, and I was very close to going for the Protect here, but I was like, you know what? No, I have to be aggressive. I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz. As he brings in the Mesmer, can I just say, this Flareon only has 8 attack EVs, and it did 52% to a Mesprit. That's really impressive. that's actually really crazy if you ask me. Unfortunately though, I don't quite knock out Mesper, which means he's going to be able to go for a Healing Wish this turn. As I go for the Protect, Scouting got to see what he wanted to lock himself into. He's going to try to Healing Wish to his Mag Mortar, but because Healing Wish activates before Rocks and Toxic Spikes, it doesn't really change anything. I think Mag Mortar is at a bit more HP than he was before. Unfortunately, I get fully paralyzed by the Thunderbolt, which means I'm going to be forced to switch out this turn because I still want to keep Flareon on the off chance that I needed to take a Aerial Ace from the Scyther later in the battle. Plus, this is a prime scenario for me to be able to get rid of the burn on my Quagsire, which can also take on Scyther one-on-one. So I'm going to be able to get rid of the paralysis on my Flareon and get rid of the burn on my Quagsire. As here, I'm just going to kind of speed this up because it's just me toxic stalling him. As he predicts me to go for the Protect, he's going to get a free switch in the Scyther, which really isn't game changing in the slightest, just because at this point my Quagsire, as long as he doesn't crit my Quagsire, will be able to beat the Scyther one-on-one. And let me say that this is max defense, max HP Quagsire. The fact that that Aerial Ace is doing that much damage just goes to show you how powerful Choice Banded Scyther really is. And because I don't have my leftovers, he can't beat me easier one-on-one. However though, this Quagsire actually has Curse, which means I'm going to try to recover up to the point where I know that I can take 2 Aerial Aces and in return 2 KO him with the Scald. Yes, I know it's kind of weird to have Curse and Scald on the same set, but it's actually been really working out. I have played a couple games with this team. Again, this is not my team, this is an RMT team, so I'm able to take the 2 Aerial Aces, knock out the Scyther with 2 Scalds, and that is going to be the 3-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, very solid battle in my opinion. My opponent had a 1500 rating, so pretty sure he had a decent understanding of what he was doing. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the battle. I know it was a bit lengthy, but I was playing stall. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, you know what to do. Make sure to show up for support. Let me know what your favorite playstyle is and why in the comment section below. If you guys would like to check out the team, a link to the RMT will be down in the description. And with that being said, I will see you all in a couple of days with another replay potentially, or a Showdown live. I don't really know yet. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.